Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is out this week. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We have a lot of news today, a lot of moving targets to keep track of. Before we get to that today, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. Gorgeous day, a lot less heat than yesterday. 99 feels a lot different from 90, which was our overall high today. You see a beautiful landscape there from our Omi Gardens NCWLIFE Sky-Fi camera. That's pretty much what it looked like all day, but you can see some drying out happening along the ridge lines. We're going to talk about that too. The upcoming day will give us a little bit of a risk of a thunderstorm, according to the National Weather Service. And with thunderstorms, as we all know, here in central Washington comes an elevated risk of fire for the central Washington valleys into the western Columbia Basin. Wednesday and Friday are going to be the big days to watch out for that kind of fire danger. Eric Granstrom will be along a little bit later on with your full weather picture. I'm sure he'll talk about that some more. But now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. COVID-19 infections in the Wenatchee Valley now number more than 500. Medical services for local veterans go mobile after the disease infects Wenatchee's VA clinic. And against the backdrop of all that news, the governor decides to make virus-suppressing face masks a requirement everywhere in the state. First, we begin tonight right here in Chelan County Court, where Judge Kristen Ferreira moments ago ruled against the plaintiffs in a lawsuit to overturn Washington's state of emergency, the one imposed by Governor Jay Inslee to battle the COVID-19 pandemic. 46 plaintiffs, including restaurant owners, elected officials, pastors, and political operatives, said the governor has no authority to keep the state under strict public health orders. But Ferreira refused to issue a temporary restraining order that would have terminated the governor's orders. That also would have put full responsibility for the coronavirus response on local health districts. At one point, Ferreira told plaintiff's attorney Joel Ard it's not clear they could handle the pandemic alone.
The state Department of Health approves each and every one of these plans. They've worked with the local health departments for 14 years. These plans were approved, some of them as recently as last fall. I'm not sure when the last time Chelan Douglas counties was, but county health plans were approved as recently as November of 2019. So all of a sudden, the governor has said, we've spent years doing this. My own Department of Health has reviewed and approved these plans routinely over the last 8 years, but come the event, wow, we're not actually going to follow that law and follow those plans.
That's not my question, though. My question is, can they actually do it? And from the record, it appears that the health district, these people who, some of the officers of the health district don't think they can. And that's my concern is you're asking me to impose a restraining order lifting the restrictions, which I still don't understand what it is that, if I were to lift those restrictions today, what would that look like? Would we be tomorrow, everything's opened back up like there's no COVID? Or will it, because there aren't restrictions that are in place, or the health district has even said will be in place if the court lifts this. So if the court lifted the restrictions and the health district came in, can they even implement this plan? I mean, realistically, I know you say that the state thought they could, but realistically today, I don't see anything in the record that the health district actually thinks they can implement anything in this plan. And we're talking about public education, surveillance, community containment measures, medication and vaccine management. There's a lot in here. I don't know how many employees the health district has, but it seems to the court, based on the information that's in the record, that the health district has been struggling with the resources they have right now, even with the assistance of the state in addressing the pandemic.
Judge Ferreira, of course, the Chelan County judge, recently diagnosed and recovered from COVID-19 herself. Deputy Attorney General Zachary Pecalis-Jones replied that the plaintiffs had no grounds to challenge the governor's emergency powers, even though restraints on businesses and gathering places affected their livelihoods.
So for plaintiffs in this case, the reopening process is not going quickly enough. And economic challenges they face and the fears of the future for their businesses and their families, those are real. And nothing that we say here today should ever be taken to undercut or undersell the reality of those costs. But what they're seeking here today, Your Honor, is a temporary restraining order, a form of extraordinary equitable relief that is rarely granted. And in this case, the evidence and the law clearly is not sufficient to enjoin the governor from enforcing his public health proclamations to keep Washingtonians safe and stop the spread, or at least slow the spread of COVID-19. They simply cannot meet the high bar to show that they have a clear legal right to enjoin the governor's proclamations, or that the harms that they have experienced outweigh the significant dangers to public health if an injunction were to go into effect.
Now, in full disclosure, NCWLIFE show host Carrie Condata is one of the many plaintiffs in that case. We'll have full ongoing coverage of today's hearing on our website, ncwlife.com, and on air tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, even as that legal challenge went to court, the number of COVID-19 cases detected in Chelan and Douglas counties has now topped 500. 501 cases, to be precise, were tabulated as of this morning. 3 new cases in Chelan County and 6 identified in Douglas County were added to the tally today. It's part of a continuing upward trend as the Wenatchee Valley remains in a modified Phase 1 of Washington's Safe Start coronavirus recovery plan. 9 residents of the 2-county region have died from the virus, the most recent one on May 13th. Well, despite the rising local caseloads, there are currently no Chelan or Douglas County COVID-19 patients hospitalized with the virus. The uptick in positive cases in recent days has not put pressure on Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee. Instead, the hospital is treating 9 patients from other counties, including 6 from Grant County, where there's been a recent spike in positive tests. There are also 2 patients from Okanogan County at Central and 1 from hard-hit Yakima County. Confluence Health Communications Director Andrew Canning said today that of the 9 COVID-19 patients at the hospital, 5 are in the intensive care unit. 4 of the ICU patients are on ventilators. Wenatchee's Medical Service Center for Veterans expects to reopen on June 29th, less than 2 weeks after multiple employees there tested positive for coronavirus. The Veterans Affairs Community-Based Outpatient Clinic, or CBOC, in Old Station, shut down June 17th for thorough disinfection after the cases were discovered. In the meantime, walk-in and urgent care patients have received treatment through an on-site mobile medical unit dispatched by the VA Medical Center in Spokane. VA spokesman Brett Bowers says the agency has tracked down all those veterans and other visitors who may have been inside the facility between June 8th and June 16th. The mobile medical unit continues to operate at the Wenatchee Clinic Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. In just a week, they've attended to more than 90 veteran patients. Well, coming up next, what started as a case of child porn possession turned out to be even darker, and now a Wenatchee man faces trial in federal court. And a JCPenney store in the region falls victim to the company's ongoing bankruptcy. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Owner Andrew Vickery brings years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spas, both new and used, as well as residential and commercial pool and spa services, regular maintenance and repairs, and all the chemicals required to keep your pool and spa crystal clear. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. A Wenatchee man accused of child molestation and child pornography is now in federal custody and facing trial in August. Earlier this month, 31-year-old Jose Antonio Mendoza was taken by federal marshals from the Chelan County Jail, where he'd been held since January, to the Spokane County lockup, where he awaits a hearing in U.S. District Court. Chelan County prosecutors initially charged Mendoza with 18 counts after Wenatchee police found multiple explicit images on his home devices, including videos that appeared to show him sexually abusing children. Federal prosecutors under U.S. Attorney William Hyslop took over the case, and on June 2nd, a grand jury indicted Mendoza on 3 charges of producing child porn and 1 of receiving it. Each charge carries a sentence of 15 to 30 years if convicted. Law enforcement will be out in force on Interstate 90 this weekend, focusing on illegal driving by motorcycle operators. Under a program called It's a Fine Line, the patrols will be operating from Spokane to Snoqualmie Pass, with the Washington State Patrol taking the lead, with help from law enforcement agencies in Kittitas, Grant, Adams, Lincoln, and Spokane counties. The State Patrol said more than half of all motorcycle crashes do not involve another vehicle. In a PSA, State Patrol Sergeant Darren Wright says most of those crashes are preventable.
Hi, my name is Sergeant Darren Wright. I'm with the Washington State Patrol. Motorcycles in Washington State represent only 3% of the registered vehicles in the state, but account for 20% of the fatalities throughout the year. We're seeing a lot of speed-related issues on these fatalities and injury collisions, excessive speed going into corners, inexperience of riders. Rider training is important for the safety of all riders. Knowing your motorcycle, knowing how to prepare and set up for curves, and knowing what speeds you can do safely within the speed limit are very important to make sure that you arrive safely. Most crashes are preventable. Please make the right choice. Drive slow, drive sober, arrive safely.
Shoppers have been watching closely as JCPenney decides which stores to close in its ongoing bankruptcy proceedings. Tonight we learn the Omak location at the Omak Shopping Center will shut down and liquidate starting July 3rd. The store chain's Wenatchee location remains operative, but 149 other stores across the county haven't been so lucky. JCPenney filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in May. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up, Governor Jay Inslee announced Tuesday that facial coverings will be required in public throughout Washington to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. What does that mean for you? Eric Granstrom brings you that story, plus sports and weather, next on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Uh-oh.
What?
I think I forgot to lock my Buick.
Parallel parking.
That hot yoga was so hot. Check this out. Cooling seats?
Alexa, ask Buick to start my SUV.
You can do that.
You can do that?
You can't do that.
You can with the Buick.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Aging and Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging and Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging and Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700. Welcome back once again to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Well, all those DIY mask making videos are about to come in handy. Governor Jay Inslee announced Tuesday that facial coverings will be required in public throughout Washington to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. The order goes into effect tomorrow and requires facial coverings in an indoor public space or an outside public space when you're unable to physically distance from others. There are exemptions for children under age 5 and for people with health issues or who are deaf. Inslee said a troubling rise in COVID-19 cases in some areas of the state led to this decision.
So unfortunately, I have to share with you that even though we have been resourceful and committed, as we have reopened our economy, as we have shedded some of our social distancing, we are now experiencing a higher activity of our virus. Now, is this just a hypothetical concern? Unfortunately, it is not. I want to share with you how bad this is and could become in the state of Washington. In Yakima County, which is the epicenter for this virus in the state of Washington, the healthcare system, because of COVID-19 infections, is so stressed that there is no room at the hospital in Yakima County. Repeat, there are no rooms available to people for this treatment in Yakima County. That means that patients are having to be shipped by ambulance outside of Yakima County to Seattle and other places. And it is so challenging that now we are going to have to engage a different service to transport patients out of their home county to get treatment. There's no room in the hospitals. This is something that we saw in New York. It's something we saw in Italy. It's something we're seeing in Yakima County today, and we do not want to see that condition spread across the state of Washington. So today we are adopting an additional and new strategy regarding the use of facial coverings in the state of Washington. We've seen people do that already. In Yakima County, only about a third of people were wearing facial coverings a couple weeks ago, but just this last weekend, that's risen to about 60%. This is encouraging. It shows that we can adopt measures that can actually reduce the transmission rate of this virus. But we know that this issue is much bigger than Yakima County. So that is why today I'm joined by Secretary of Health John Weisman, who's signing a public health order mandating the use of facial coverings across the state of Washington. It will take effect this Friday, June 26th. As we know, willful violation of this order is tantamount to a misdemeanor. Now, as necessary economic activity increases and more people are out in their communities, it is imperative that we adopt further measures to protect us all. I think this is the way we need to look at this. We just cannot wish this virus to go away. We have to use tools that are available to us that we know that work.
As far as the weather is concerned, today we had a lot of sunshine, warm temperatures, and also gusty winds developing here this afternoon as we take a look at our weather window. Here you can see that stratus of clouds over the horizon here as you look off to the southeast of the Wenatchee Valley from our camera at Omi Gardens. You can see it shaking around a little bit that from the winds blowing here this afternoon. Thanks to Sky-Fi Wireless Network for providing us the Sky-Fi cameras here as we look down upon the valley. But with the sunshine, warm temperatures, and that breeze probably feeling a little bit good right now. It's going to mean some thundershower activity, not for us, but for the Northeast and for the Idaho Panhandle. Let's take a look at the almanac here for today. How hot did it get? No, 90, not nearly as warm as it did yesterday. 57 was our low this morning. That's right on the money as far as our normal for this time of year. You can see we're quite a bit higher than normal at 80. A record high temperature, 1992. Boy, had a stretch of hot weather back in 92. 104 degrees the record high for today. 42 the record low. That was set in 1983. No precipitation in the last 24 hours, so we're still at 2.66 inches of rainfall for 2020. The sunrise sunset, same as it was yesterday, again today, and it will be again tomorrow. 5:05 for the sunrise, 9:02 for the sunset. What's going to happen tomorrow? Well, we're going to get windy in the morning and still sunny and pretty warm. High temperatures expected here for the Columbia Basin in the low 90s. 91 for Moses Lake and Ephrata. 90 in Quincy and Ellensburg. Might be the hot spot here in Wenatchee of 93 degrees. 91 for our friends in Cashmere. 89 in Leavenworth. Get to the higher elevations if you want to cool down. You don't like the hot temperatures. 76 for Lake Wenatchee. 92 in Antioch and Chelan, and 91 for our folks up in Okanagan County in Omak. As far as the surface loop is concerned, well, we're going to start things off. You can see it moving through here this evening and into the morning tomorrow. That thunder shower activity, that's what they're really keeping an eye on here from the National Weather weather service with thankfully some showers that are coming with that, but also some nickel-sized hail expected in that system as it moves through the northeast of Washington and the Idaho Panhandle. Things for us here in the Wenatchee Valley and for north central Washington got to be dry all the way through Friday and Saturday. Here it comes on Sunday with maybe some thunder shower activity coming through. We'll be on the lookout for that. Also, thankfully, right now anyway, knock on wood, it looks like we're going to have some precipitation with those thunder showers on Sunday, maybe lingering into Monday, but things should be pretty dry for the most part. Hot temperatures continuing for the next several days here for tomorrow and for Friday here for the Wenatchee Valley with the, there you see the hot temperatures here throughout eastern Washington. But as we get into the weekend and beyond, things cooling down quite a bit. In fact, below normal for the end of June with temperatures more like in the 40s, 50s at nighttime, daytime highs in the 70s. As far as the cloud cover is concerned, the Cascade Crest is going to do a pretty good job of blocking things. Here you see this big system moving in. It hits the Cascades and then goes whoop. Gone. It's a magic trick. That's going to be the case until we get to the weekend, Saturday late and then into Sunday. Here you see the cloud cover coming in. That's going to bring us some of that moisture. That'll linger into Monday and Tuesday before we see things start to kind of straighten out again by the middle part of next week. So let's take a look at the 7-day forecast here, brought to you by Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Windy here this afternoon and tonight. 61 for our overnight low tonight with mostly fair skies. The winds gusting to 20 miles per hour, however, so keep that in mind. We'll see some breezes in the morning tomorrow. The wind will lessen as the day continues. 93 for the high tomorrow, 64 for the overnight low tomorrow night, and then one more day of hot temperatures on Friday before things start to cool off by the weekend. Here you see it, sunny and hot, 96 possibly on Friday, and then the weekend and into the rest of the first part of next week, really cooler. You're going to see a 20-degree difference in the high between Friday and Sunday with that cloud cover moving in and chance of showers and thunder showers. Nighttime lows for the most part in the 60s here for the next few nights. Should be in the 50s over the weekend and into the first part of next week. That's your 7-day forecast brought to you by Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Take a quick break and I'll be back with sports news here as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
AC Checker has new owners who put customer service first. When you have to get there on time, call fast, friendly, reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. AC Checker has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee. Conditions apply. Call AC Checker, 663-TAXI to schedule your cab or schedule online at acchecker.com. Call American Classic Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. The WIAA has come out with guidelines for schools that are trying to return to sports this fall. And unless we reach phase 4 of the Safe Start Washington plan, there will be no football. Football and wrestling are considered high-risk sports by the WIAA and the return to activity guidelines due to increased potential for exposure to respiratory droplets. Any such sport could only feasibly return in phase 4 of the Safe Start plan. Moderate risk sports include soccer, volleyball, and swimming relays. The lower risk sports would be cross-country running and individual swimming. That's just this fall. WI Executive Director Mick Hoffman says he's guardedly optimistic about our state's ability to return to sports this fall, but warns not to rush it.
The key to us having the opportunity for students to compete and participate in the fall is going to depend on how healthy we come into that situation. And as we fine-tune and perfect these guidelines, we're hoping that we'll be able to play throughout the fall. If we have people that get out there too quickly, and several people have challenged the state and myself, as well as our team, on why aren't we doing it more like other states? And what we are now seeing is those other states that went too fast are having to go really slow to catch back up. And we want to make sure to make consistent progress to give every child in our state that wants to participate in our education-based activities the opportunity to do that this fall. So again, thank you very much to the Department of Health, OSPI, and the Governor's Office for your time in researching these and approving them. And good luck to all of you as we commence our summer and eventually our fall activities.
Now, the guidelines include specific directives on gathering limitations, screening participants and staff, social distancing, and practice or game recommendations, as well as a phase-related tiered structure. Hoffman is recommending districts check with their attorneys before proceeding with practice or events.
They are connected to phasing in the county, so as you move to phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, it will allow you to understand how you may expand opportunities for participation, not just in practices, but also contests as we enter the fall. Throughout the document, you will find embedded documents referenced, such as the OSPI reopening in the fall plan and other documents that we've discussed. So you should not have to go to a lot of other locations to correlate all the information that you've been sent. It's still very, very important that school districts, as you begin to implement your plans, that you verify there are no other governor directives. As we know, Governor Inslee's directive ended June 19th for closing our campuses. But it's also critical that you check in with your risk management as well as your general school district policies to assure you're capable of initiating activity.
Now, locally, Big 9 athletic directors meet tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Eastmont AD Russ Waterman will join me on a Zoom video conference tomorrow. We'll have an update for you tomorrow night here on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Well, after 3 months of negotiations between Major League Baseball owners and the MLB Players Association, there's finally an agreement to play baseball this year. A unanimous vote by MLB owners Monday imposed a 60-game schedule, which would have players reporting to home facilities July 1st and ready to play July 23rd and 24th. This means the Mariners will appear at T-Mobile Park for the first time since last September 29th. Seattle had to get the go-ahead from Governor Inslee to allow the Mariners to begin spring training and the Emerald City. King County is entering phase 2 of Inslee's 4-phase reopening plan, but the governor gave permission to professional sports teams to resume practices and activities without fans on June 6th. Now, that will determine a lot of things as we march forward for the Mariners and Major League Baseball. Well, the news found hanging in Bubba Wallace's garage stall at Talladega Superspeedway had been there since at least last October. Federal authorities reported their findings to NASCAR Tuesday and that no charges would be filed because no crime was committed. U.S. Attorney Jay Town and FBI Special Agent in charge Johnny Sharp Jr. said an investigation determined although the noose is now known to have been in the garage number 4 in 2019, nobody could have known Mr. Wallace would be assigned to that garage last week. The noose was reported by one of Wallace's crew members Sunday night. Sunday's race was delayed by weather, but by the time racing resumed Monday, the NASCAR world knew of the finding and rallied in support of Wallace. Yeah, the checkered flags will fly once again Saturday at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. 4 classes of racing will take to the quarter-mile asphalt track on Fancher Heights, and NCWLIFE channel will be there. No fans can attend due to the pandemic, but fans can watch all the action here on NCWLIFE Saturday night beginning at 6 o'clock. Time trials will be followed by racing at 6:30 with the Bandoleros, Plum Perfect Roadrunners, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Thunder Cars, and Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late models all racing on Saturday night. It's the Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning opening night at the races. We'll have that Saturday night live here on the NCWLIFE channel. Looking forward to that. That's sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Jefferson, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or on our website, ncwlife.com. Remember, if you see news happening, we would love to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call, 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. I'll see you here tomorrow night.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.